Well, hello, and thank you for watching another one of my really horribly produced videos where I basically just stumble around my garage with my phone talking about stuff. This is a new bike I just bought from Walmart. I don't ever buy Walmart bikes because, they're not any good, right? Well, I have expensive bikes. I like nice bikes, but this was just too cheap for me to pass up for what is just going to be a fun little thing to do. Honestly, I just got back from vacation and managed to pick up the Big C, so I can't really go anywhere. So I was able to order this thing, got here in one day, $98 plus tax, so $106 and change. A Rockrider Decathlon, or Decathlon Rockrider. It's an ST100, which is pretty low-end bike. It's got some weird component choices. I've seen these in the stores before, and I remember they were $399 full retail, and then I think Walmart.com had them for, I don't know, like 200 and something dollars, 250, 260. And I just saw a post online that these were on clearance for $98. So I'm like, yes. And what's interesting about them, I noticed when I saw them in store, is they were sized frames. So they had small, medium, large, extra large. This is an extra large, which it's hard to see, but little decal right there. It says XL. And they're kind of decent looking bikes. They've got some cheap components on them, but like nice looking frame. Nothing too fancy. So we're just going to start kind of pulling this thing out. Oh dear. Oh yeah, just throw that over there. That's fine. But, 27.5-inch wheels. They're a non-machined braking surface, but double wall rim, 27.5 by 2.0. The front hub is just a generic steel hub, but the rear hub appears to be an alloy, the Joytech hub, but it's bolt-on hub. Plastic coated, I'm sure, steel cranks, but what looks like maybe a sealed cartridge bottom bracket, so that's interesting. Like I said, aluminum frame, kind of some nice hydroformed type tubes. Yeah, for under $100, it was kind of compelling just to go, why not try this thing out? Comes in a frame size for tall folks like me, and let's kind of dig into this and see what else we can find. Now with the box out of the way and it turned around, we can get a little bit better look at the business side of this thing. So yeah, triple crankset, looks all stamped steel. Like I said, it's plastic coated crank arms. B-Twin brand derailleur. Looks like it does have a Shimano, probably 14 to 28 tooth, 7-speed freewheel. No replaceable derailleur hangers, so that's kind of a icky thing, but whatever. Stamped steel linear pull brakes, so very cheap. And then the suspension fork on these, we'll get a better look at that here in a minute after I unwrap some things and get this thing in the stand. But it is a alloy crown with alloy lowers, so that's a little bit nicer than your typical welded steel stuff. And then just jingling down inside the box is the front quick release skewer, some sort of toolkit with a zippered pouch. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, just cheapo wrenches, and then your seat and seat post, and then your pedals up in there. What size seat post is this? 27.2. Looks like steel, and it's an fixed. We'll look at that better, but you can't adjust that saddle tilt level, or saddle tilt, so that's very strange. Yeah, weird bike, but I just had to see what it was like for $100, so we'll get into it and get her unwrapped and in the stand. And we have an assembled bike. So the thing went together pretty quick, without too many issues. A couple things I'll note. So basically all you got to do to put this thing together is put the front wheel on. The handlebars were actually already mounted in the stem just loosely and rotated forward. So just twisted those up around, tightened the the stem bolt, and then repositioned the bell and the front reflector. Seat post, again, as I mentioned, it is welded. See right there? There's no adjustment to the tilt. It's welded. So if you don't like how the seat tilt is adjusted, too bad, you're stuck with it. Stuck a little bit of grease on the seat post as you're supposed to. Most people that are going to be putting this together at home may not know to do that. And of course, got to install the pedals, just some real cheap plastic pedals. On the non-drive side over there, I did have an issue with it threading in. The threads on the crank arm or the pedal didn't really look that close. Looked to be a little bit compromised. So I actually took a little bit nicer threaded pedal that I've got and chased those threads in a little bit more, which helped somewhat. But the tools that it comes with, so the hex wrenches, a little screwdriver, and then you've got 15 millimeter there for your pedals. That is not long enough to get the torque you needed to run that one stiffly threaded pedal in. So I had to use my own Park Tool pedal wrench to get it to go in. So that might be something other people may have issues with on their bikes when they get them at home. Noticed when I had the front wheel in my hand, the front hub, the bearings are adjusted a little bit tight. They do spin, but I'm going to readjust those later on. But I wanted to just get the bike together as most anybody at home would get the bike together, and see how long it takes. The headset was also a little bit tight, so I'm going to check the bearings on that, make sure those get plenty of grease later on. But again, these are not things most people are going to do themselves. But now that I've got the bike together, it actually, like I said, I was looking at these in store when they first came into Walmart and was kind of really intrigued. Obviously cheap budget parts, but for a bike that somebody is realistically just going to ride around in the neighborhood, bike paths, stuff like that, not any actual mountain biking, it's not too bad. As I mentioned, the suspension fork does have one-piece aluminum lowers instead of your typical welded piece-together fork lowers. Those are probably 25 millimeter stanchions, very, very spindly. So you're not going to do any serious off-road stuff. There's no adjustments on those forks. As far as the brake adjustment, they're okay. They're gonna need a little bit of pad alignment, stuff like that, but they'll function out of the box. The derailleur does kind of shift. It doesn't go up on the largest cog back there, so it's gonna need some limit screw adjustment. And then we'll check out the front brake. So again, a little bit imbalanced, but they would function. And the wheels are actually reasonably straight. So, is it rideable out of the box? Yeah, more or less, but again, it's going to need proper setup, which I intend to do once I have a little bit more time. But mainly just wanted to get this thing out of the box and check it out so you all could see it. But really nice looking graphics. Like, these are not decals; these are painted into the finish and or underneath the clear coat, however they do that on these bikes. Really a decent looking frame. So for $98, as long as this thing holds together and actually functions okay, this will be great. I'm gonna use this for running down to the store, leaving out, so I don't have to worry about leaving one of my nicer bikes outside. Maybe I might take it with me when we go on vacation places, and again, just so I don't have to worry about taking an expensive bike. So I'm gonna get this thing kind of tuned up and get it, ready to ride a little bit more competently. And then I may do another video on sort of my impressions of how it rides and how it functions. So this is just sort of a little introductory video of the Decathlon Rockrider ST100, $98 on clearance at Walmart. Who knows how long they'll last, but it was just one of those things I was like, why the heck not? I'll spend $100 on a bike. Thank you for watching, and definitely like, comment, subscribe if you really want to. And I appreciate you watching. You all take care.